Okay, for years the entire world believed that nothing could replace the legendary W16. But Bugatti decided to do the impossible. Bugatti redesigned its W engine, which was one of Bugatti's most famous engines at the time. Some of its specifications were also changed by using another engine with a different V-shaped design. Yeah, still with the same 16 cylinders, but with a V16 layout, not the old W design, and with more power than the previous models. The Bugatti Tourbillon V16 engine, it revs up to 9,000 RPM without turbo or supercharger assistance. As we know, the engine alone generates 1,000 horsepower, and it produces a sound that many exotic car fans say is one of the most beautiful sounds a hypercar can make in this modern era. This isn't just another new car from Bugatti Tourbillon, this is the start of a whole new era for Bugatti. But the question that really stops you here isn't just about horsepower. The real question is, how did Bugatti build a car that's more powerful than Chiron and lighter at the same time? When Bugatti unveiled Chiron 10 years ago, many exotic car fans believed it was the end of the road. How can it outperform a car with 1,600 horsepower and a top speed of over 490 km per hour? This question had been haunting Bugatti engineers for years. Because problem wasn't about speed. The Chiron, of course, was and still is one of the fastest cars in the world. But the world around Bugatti was changed completely, because emissions regulations had become stricter than before, and now car technology has entered the electric era. At that moment, Bugatti had two options: either keep the W16 engine or accept that it had reached the end of its life, or start from scratch and build an entirely new car from scratch. And that's exactly what happened. Bugatti didn't do a facelift, not even a minor update, not even an upgraded version of the Chiron. Bugatti changed almost everything at its core. An entirely new chassis, a completely redesigned engine, an all-new hybrid system, and a completely different philosophy. Even the name Tourbillon wasn't just a name for this model, because Bugatti sees this model as more than just a fast machine. It's a luxurious, captivating piece of engineering that will hold its value no matter how much time passes. But real question is, did all of these changes actually make the Tourbillon better than Chiron? If you think Bugatti just changed the car's styling, get ready to learn some things that'll make you rethink that. The Tourbillon isn't just an upgraded version of Chiron, it's an entirely new car. Total power 1,800 horsepower. Instant torque from the electric system combined with a natural throttle response even sharper than V16 engines. From 0 to 100 km per hour in around 2 seconds, has 4 top speed pushing past 445 km, with Bugatti's dedicated top speed K activated to reach over 450 km depending on road conditions and tire type. A few years ago, these numbers would seem impossible, but strangely enough, Bugatti wasn't just trying to break a new speed record, because the goal was to create the most luxurious and most powerful and fastest flagship car in the company's history. The Tourbillon is lighter than Chiron, and its weight distribution has improved even further, despite now being a hybrid, all to lower the center of gravity as much as possible. It's not just numbers on paper, it's engineering built for real-world performance. But the bigger question is, how did Bugatti manage to achieve all this after replacing the engine that had become such a defining part of the brand? Now let's talk about the biggest surprise of this car, the engine. Bugatti decided to retire the W16. A decision like this left most Bugatti fans surprised, because W16 engine had become a defining part of Bugatti's identity ever since the Veyron, but times things were different. The Tourbillon arrived with a fully naturally aspirated 8.3-liter engine at a time when nearly every other manufacturer relies on turbocharging, which means instant response with every race of the accelerator, and a sound closer to old-school race cars than to a modern hypercar. It's like listening to an orchestra. But that's not what made the Tourbillon the best car Bugatti has ever built, because more important than power is the feeling. Because electric motors give you that instant surge of torque from the very first moment, and right after the naturally aspirated V16 kicks in with its own performance, where every instrument joins at exactly the perfect moment. Even better, the car can move using only electric motors, which means you can cruise quickly through the city, but the moment you switch modes, everyone will be caught off guard by the roar of the monstrous V16. And that's exactly Bugatti's new philosophy, a driving experience like no other, one that no other manufacturer can offer. But despite all this technology, Bugatti says these changes were designed to preserve distinctive identity and luxury, as well as maintain the enthusiastic feeling between the driver and the car. The moment you see Tourbillon, you instantly know it's a Bugatti. But at the same time, there's nothing about it that connects it to the Chiron. Bugatti didn't design a beautiful car and then try to make it fast. It started with a completely different concept. They did the exact opposite. They started with the engineering maximizing stability while minimizing aerodynamic drag, and then let the design emerge from it. What will really impresses you is what you find inside the Tourbillon. The interior feels incredibly luxurious, yet there's no massive screen in front of you at a time when most manufacturers are filling their cars with screen, almost as if they're handing you an iPad as a free gift with car. Even better, the instrument cluster is mounted directly in the steering column, which means because it stays fixed right in front of you at all times. Because Bugatti believes that in 20 years, screens inside cars will feel outdated, since they simply don't suit the entertainment side of their hypercars. The Bugatti Tourbillon is such a finely crafted piece of engineering and mechanics that it will remain timeless, outpacing its era with a beauty that simply doesn't fade, no matter how much time goes by. And that is the core philosophy behind the Bugatti Tourbillon. When you first see the Tourbillon, you might think it's just a new version of Chiron, but the truth is the two cars are completely different. The Tourbillon follows a completely different philosophy from Chiron. Everything about it is designed around the driver. Lighter steering, shorter response, more power, and even a different setting position. And that makes a huge difference. It's rare of an automaker to change its entire philosophy and actually pull it off. The Tourbillon marks the start of a whole new chapter in Bugatti's history. In the end, the Tourbillon isn't just another new Bugatti, it's a statement that one entire era has come to an end, and a new one is in. Only 250 units honest in the entire world, and they were all sold out privately to Bugatti clients before the car was even revealed to the public. Well, the era of large, naturally aspirated engines like V16 and others continue in a world rapidly shifting towards electric power. Or will the Bugatti Tourbillon be the final farewell to legendary combustion engines? If you enjoyed this episode, hit like and subscribe to the channel to support more content like this. Thank you for watching.